And now, live from Dining Room Studios in Hollywood, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guest. She's a comedian whose baby won't leave her womb. This generation, I'm telling you, so entitled. It's Jenna Kim Jones. He's a good Midwestern guy and subject of South Idaho's most popular website, Alan Moss is Unaware I'm Taking His Photo Right Now.com. It's Alan Moss. And he's a producer who believes he's hypnagogic, but that's only because people are too nice to tell him he's just hammered all the time. It's Greg Heller. Chef Jeff is here to butter your muffin. I'm her husband Daniel, and I'm about to let her talk, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen, Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little mini bagels. It's me, Allison, and welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. I would like to say hello to my guests. Hello, Greg Heller.
Hi, Allison.
Hello, Jenna Kim Jones.
Hey.
Hi, Alan.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel.
Hi.
And hi, Jeff.
Hi, Allison. Got any news on IVF?
We all jack off in cups. They've been inside all of our vaginas as well. It's not a big deal. Well, it is funny you bring that up because I do, in fact. So I have my egg retrieval on Wednesday, and they kept moving it around. There was this question of whether it was going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. And they've told me there's this thing you have to give yourself called a trigger shot, which you give. Most women give it to themselves 35 hours before retrieval, but because I have a tendency to ovulate a little early, they've been sort of adjusting the time on it. And I thought that my retrieval was going to be early in the morning on Wednesday because that's always when it is, in which case I was going to need to give myself a shot during the show. And I thought to spice it up, I'm just going to do it. There's 2 shots I have to give myself. I'm like, I'm just going to do it on air.
Periscope.
That's right. And especially because one of them is an injection pen, and it makes this noise when you push it down. It's like, it's really a weird sound.
What does it sound like?
And I thought that'll be fun to do that right in the mic. And then I wondered, but is this just like stunt behavior?
What is the ringer doing?
It's pushing the medicine into you. You just push this little button. You push this little button, and then there's this mechanism inside.
By the way, I live with her. I don't know these things. Can you close the door, honey? I don't want to see.
There's this mechanism inside the pen that spins around and pushes the medicine down into you. I mean, in through the needle, but yeah. So anyway, so that was going to happen. It was going to happen on air, and I thought, well, this will be an exciting, fun new thing that might turn people's stomachs, especially with the sound. But as it turns out, the surgery is later than I thought, so the shot will be at 4:30 in the morning. So I'm sparing everyone. Congratulations. I think it's for the better.
There's a 4:30 in the morning?
4:30 in the morning.
Neat.
Yeah.
It's 2 of them.
You're going to get up tomorrow at 4 in the morning or whatever?
Yeah, I will get up at 4:20 because I have to take the medicine out of the refrigerator.
Yes, sick one, bro.
Out of the refrigerator, let it warm up, and then prepare the shots and then give them to myself. And I'm worried I'm going to sleep through it, which probably means I won't sleep at all. And also, because it's so close to the retrieval, I'm more so than before, super, super hormonal. I feel like I have no buffer. And last night we went and visited some friends of Daniel's, and they have 2 adorable daughters. And the 3-year-old was singing Baba Black Sheep. And it was so cute. And my eyes started tearing because it was so sweet. And then I was thinking, you know what? This is good, though. It's probably good for my ovaries to be soaking this up. Like, drink it in, ovaries. Marinate in this.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's an oxytocin release, right?
I think so.
Whoa. Isn't that what that is?
I don't know.
Is
That's
it
supposed to be
oxytocin is the hormone that makes you care about children, right?
And makes you and bonds you to someone that you just had sex with.
Oh, really?
I hope
thought it was
don't
just
combine
about-
those.
Yeah, I learned that from my wife. Oxytocin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right.
Nice.
So another thing, since we're talking about eggs, just got a few things to get to. And then I want to hear all about your sister's wedding, Greg.
Okay,
and we also have to get to the fact that as we record this, Jenna's due date is tomorrow.
Right.
So
when you guys are listening, it's way past.
Yeah.
Well, not way, but
A couple days past.
Yeah.
Still crazy. So lots of stuff to get to. Let's tackle an unimportant one. So I enjoy hard-boiled eggs. And sometimes I like to throw caution to the wind and just go ahead and buy the ones that are already cooked and peeled. And I always think this is the height of decadence and laziness. I am a useless sack of shit that I can't even hard boil my own and peel my own eggs, which obviously I can. But then I crunched the numbers today and I'm like, wait a minute. Eggs are so expensive right now. It's actually it's not that much more expensive. It's hardly more expensive to buy them this way. Here's my question. And it's for you, Greg, because you cook. And then if you don't know the answer, it's for you, Jenna, because you also cook. Sorry, Alan and Daniel and Jeff. I don't think you would know.
I cook.
Okay.
I hope I know the answer.
Everyone can chime in. The hard-boiled eggs that are cooked and peeled, they're better. The white is firmer and the yolk is yellow. Versus when I cook them myself, they are very, like the yolk is sort of gray/green.
That means you're overcooking.
You
Overcooking.
overcook
Oh.
them. Yeah, you overcook them.
Everyone knows the answer. Yeah. Okay. But the white isn't firm like these
When
ones.
you make
is
them?
it just because
Yes.
it's cold?
I think it might be because they're cold and they've been like sitting there for a long time.
Can I ask
They're
you
old.
3 questions
Please.
about the way that you make eggs?
Yes.
Do you drop the eggs into pre-boiling water?
Usually no, but I read that they're easier to peel because I was like, I can't keep buying peeled eggs. Have some self-respect, woman. So I decided to do it myself. And so I dropped them into boiling water. And that was like the worst batch ever. They were really easy to peel, but I did not like, they tasted way too eggy, which I know seems desirable, but I like when they taste sort of like nothing.
Do you remove the eggs from the refrigerator 15 minutes before you hard boil them?
No.
Do you put the eggs in an ice bath after you've hard boiled them?
No.
You're doing it wrong.
Will all those things,
All those things will improve your hard boiled egg experience, yes.
will they make it so the yolk is yellow?
They will make the egg creamier and they will make the egg very easy to peel.
But I would prefer less creamy happening in my egg.
Then overcook them. Remember
That's
at
what I'm
Passover
doing.
when they're like, eggs are like the Jewish people, the more you boil us, the harder we get, or whatever? Remember that whole thing?
Did
you ever have a Passover?
I've never been to a Passover
Wow.
Seder.
Anyone at this table? Dan,
I'm
have you
having
ever
trouble
heard
with that analogy.
Jeff? That's a thing where they're like,
Wait,
that's
what
the
did they
whole
say?
thing
The
about
more you
hard-boiled eggs
boil
is they're
us?
like, it's basically they're saying like the more you fuck with us, we just get tougher and tougher and tougher.
Oh.
Like if you Holocaust us or whatever, we just like our skin gets thicker.
Right.
And so that's why you eat a hard-boiled egg
You
at
could
Passover.
really just use any sort of meat in that analogy too. We're like brisket.
I guess you could. Well,
More you
what do
cook
you
us,
eat
the
at
tougher we
Passover?
get.
You eat brisket.
Well, there you
Right.
go.
You eat just a bunch of super crappy, cheap food that you
That's
can overcook.
overcooked.
Yeah, exactly. Taking them out before you hard boil them also allows you. They won't break when you drop them into hot water because they reach room temperature. And if you drop them into pre-boiling water, it allows you to exact the amount of time that they're cooking.
The way I do it, not this last time, which they were not good, but normally I just put eggs fresh from the refrigerator into water and then boil it and then let it boil for a while. Not that long though. And then turn it off and put the lid on and just leave it there for days. And I was fine with that method until I tasted the fresh staleness of pre-cooked. I just wonder, how are they doing these? I
In
wonder
enormous batches in a giant pot, and then
are they steaming them though, or are they boiling them?
They're boiling them, I would imagine, and then they sit in a fridge for 2 weeks, getting gross.
That's
The
what
most
I need.
fascinating part about this is that you're aware of the current market value of eggs.
They are very expensive
they've
right
gone
now.
up,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
Really
It drives me
it's like
crazy.
gasoline.
Yeah.
Which
And
has
I
come
shop
down.
all the time, and I guess I'm just not paying attention to the
There were
current market value
A lot of
eggs.
chickens died in the great chicken plague of 2015.
I wonder, why would that be?
No, that's why. A bunch
Oh,
of
it is?
chicken.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
chicken. There was like some sort of chicken
Flu
virus.
or virus.
Oh, is that?
or-
Oh,
yeah.
shit! I thought you were lying.
Wiped out chickens. Yeah.
Do you know in the state of California what the 2 things that are legal to throw from a moving car are?
Feathers and eggs. No, not eggs.
Cigarettes and beer bottles. I think that's what I've seen most of.
Loogie.
I was going to say empty Gatorade bottles
Yeah.
full of
But it's
pee.
illegal to throw from.
No, the two things in the state of California that are legal to throw from a moving car are
Legal.
liquid water and chicken feathers.
I was right about feathers.
Those are the two things. And
Liquid
I would
water.
like to tell you guys something. I don't know if I've shared this story on the show.
Please.
That I'm aware of the funniest thing that I've ever said in my life. I was like 24 and I was in traffic school. And the dude who was leading traffic school, it was one of these giant traffic schools too. There were like 60 people in it. He told us the two things that are legal to throw from a car in California are chicken feathers and liquid water. And somebody raised their hand and said, what about ice cubes? And he said, ice cubes are not legal. And I raised my hand and said, what about water in its gaseous form? Yeah. And then I started laughing so fucking hard.
Pretty good.
And everybody in the classroom was like, what do you mean? And they like all looked at me. There were all these douchebags in San Clemente. And I was like, there are 3 states of water. Could you put steam? And the instructor was like, that doesn't really happen. But to this day, I think that's the funniest thing I've ever said. I disagree, but I think it's funny. It's because gaseous form.
I enjoy it.
More just me.
It's all right, Craig.
You guys suck.
One more thing.
We're warming up. Come on.
Speaking of meat, I shouldn't have said speaking of meat because I'm going another direction, and then I'm going to get around to
We're going to
meat.
be struggling to figure out how it relates
I
to
know,
meat. So
I
let's
know. Do you guys have this thing? I have this thing where I'll be sitting there watching some kind of TV show late at night usually, and all of a sudden an extremely disturbing question will pop into my head, and I will be like, don't Google it, don't Google it. Oftentimes involving the Holocaust. That's the main one that I have to tell myself not to Google, because I'm like, if you Google it, you're going to feel like you just watched a horror movie. I don't say horror. I say horror. That was so
Horror
weird.
movie.
It came out so
movie.
Who am I? You know why? It's because I always want to say Holocaust, and I'm very deliberately saying Holocaust because someone corrected me on that one, and then horror came out. I don't know. It's like I was focused on my H-O sounds. Ho.
Anyway, meat.
Anyway, yes. So I will tell myself, don't Google it because you're just going to feel haunted and upset afterwards. I Googled the fuck out of it. But a thought that popped in my head last night was I was remembering, Jenna, that you said that...
Should I put the dishes away?
No.
It's horrifying.
No.
Horrifying.
No, the answer
Wait,
to that one.
Horror.
I was remembering that you were saying that in Korea, dog is a delicacy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what does dog taste like?
Oh,
Because
no.
you know that answer is on the internet.
Yeah.
That is what the internet is made for. You can Google, like, what does eating human taste like? And someone will tell you.
Yeah, it's supposed to taste like bacon.
Human or dog?
Human is supposed to taste like bacon. Harley Morenstein is like obsessed with that. He's done a lot of
Cannibals call humans long pig
Yeah, that's true.
because
That's
it
true.
tastes like pig.
Yeah, we taste like pigs.
So I see you guys have already Googled this.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, though, so I couldn't stop myself. So I did Google, what does eating dog taste like? And I came upon this article, and it was someone who's eaten dog and cat. And this guy's like, if you're a meat eater, you really owe it to yourself to eat to at least try every single meat that you can. And I'm like, I really, really don't see it that way.
Disagree.
If you're like a hobbyist about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Disagree.
Yeah, I disagree. But anyway, apparently dog is like some of the most delicious, tender one. Like they're saying if you like Kobe beef, by the way, I would never, ever, ever. I'm just saying I was
Yeah, Wendy,
surprised.
get outta here.
Because I would think of dog as like, like how you think of dog. Like,
Sinewy.
not
like
that good.
like a certain type of dog though, because from what I've
Sharp
heard.
head.
Oh really?
No.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh, I had one of those growing up in Korea. From what I've heard, is that it's not delicious.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's how it was prepared. How
Who
they
knows
did it
if this
then.
one dude's article was even
And
real?
cat apparently has a slight sour taste to it. It's much lighter, and it's got tiny little translucent bones in it. And okay, so then there was a photo. So there's a ton of photos of like prepared dishes where you can't tell what it is, but the caption will say like, dog in a clay hot pot or whatever. But then the picture of the cat thing had a cat tooth on it, and that was horrendous. But then I get to the bottom. Here's the part where I showed restraint. It said, graphic photos ahead. Don't say you weren't warned. If you want to see them preparing the meat. And I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Click.
And I didn't click, but even when I got off the page, I was still thinking about it, how much I sort of wanted to click, but thankfully I didn't, because I would not be able to do this show right now. I think I'd be so full of vomit and
so
upset.
Really, what I'm taking from this is that we need to like look at your search histories regularly because there's some stuff going on.
Yes. I type in questions all the time. And remember, Daniel saw my phone. You were laughing at whatever my question was, because not only do I type questions into Google that are ridiculous all the time,
they're of questionable spelling, and
because Google figures out what you're asking it.
Totally.
Yeah, but yours wasn't even close.
But it's still new, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Let's hear the wedding stories.
Yes.
It was very sweet, you guys.
Oh.
The ceremony went really, really well. I slayed. I crushed.
Good.
I killed.
Did they laugh, cry?
Yeah, I think
Yes
they did
and
both,
yes.
actually. First of all, when we were taking the pictures and I saw and I saw my sister in a wedding dress, I like lost my shit super hard. I was like not hysterical, but it was rough to see your little kid sister getting married. You know that? Have you seen Father of the Bride?
Of course.
Yes.
You know that thing where he sees his daughter as a kid? I saw my sister, I remember bringing her home from the hospital and stuff with my parents, and it was really, really emotional. So I got all brave before the ceremony, and actually, when you officiate, I walked up first. The doors opened, and I was the first person out with my mom, and then I walked to the front, and then I just stood there and watched everybody come out. But they do this thing, if you've ever been married, that you know, where there's a pause before the bride comes out, And when the doors open and she walked out, I was like, shit, I got problems. And she was walking down, and I was just like, oh, it was too much. The first thing that I did, my sister didn't want the ceremony to be too Jewish, because his family is super not Jewish, very
anti-Jewish.
No, they're not. No, they're not anti-Jewish.
Because that's the most.
Okay, they're the second to most. They're great people. They're just very Midwestern Christian, I guess. And she was a little afraid about that, so I waited till they got up front before I threw a yarmulke on, and then I looked over at my stepdad, and he gave me the thumbs up. And this was the plan at the beginning: is I was going to have a chicken bone and a carrot in my pocket, but I couldn't find a chicken bone at my mom's house, and I realized later that carrot stains your hands red, so it became a seashell and a celery stick. So the ceremony opened, and I was like, now, Mark, before we begin, there's just one little thing we have to do. I need you to hold this seashell in your left hand and this celery stick in your right hand. And I didn't tell anybody I was going to do this, and he's just staring at me. And my sister is staring at me.
Don't ruin our wedding like that.
They're just tripping. And then I made him repeat this sentence after me in Hebrew. And then I looked at him, and I was like, you're Jewish. That's it. You just converted.
Oh, my God.
And our half of the audience was just howling, laughing. And the other half, his family was like, what the fuck is going on?
What just happened?
Undo this.
And he was staring at me, and I was
now.
like, what you just said is I took my dog to the park and then ate some soup. Which is, I had a friend of mine translated for me. There was 1 second where it was very tense. And then I just went through what I did for the speech is I went through all of the stereotypical things that you're told to do about how to make your marriage last forever, and I told them why they were bullshit, which were never go to bed angry, marriage is hard work, and people never change. And I kind of actually don't believe those three things.
You don't believe that marriage is hard work?
I believe marriage is work. I think hard work is firefighting. Mm-hmm. What I basically said in the speech is if you're a coal miner, you can't turn to the dude next to you and be like, I love you.
Yeah, you can.
You can, but it will be odd. But you can. The hardest work in a good marriage is not that hard.
Right.
It's not. It's not that hard. It's like talking, and it's not that hard.
Right.
What about going to bed angry?
I've gone to bed angry 50 times with my wife. I just don't think the definition of what I basically said in the speech is what matters. It doesn't matter when you put the argument to bed. It matters that when you put it to bed, it's actually to bed. Mm-hmm. If you put an argument to bed just because you want to sleep, you're fucked. it would be better to say, I'm still pissed. Let's talk in the morning and settle it, than to be like, I read that 90-year-old dude still loves his wife because of this, so we have to settle. It's just, it's so much more important when you resolve it that it's finished than what I basically said. Your arguments might span a sleep cycle, and don't call a lawyer in the morning if that happens. Like, deal with it the next day. It's just so much more important when you solve it.
I feel like I think there was I have this vague memory of one night where we were having some disagreement or whatever, and it was like, can't go to bed angry, and I think we stayed up till 3. I was so fucking tired, but I was like, you can't go to bed, and so I just lost a whole night of sleep because we just couldn't resolve it.
When?
It was a long time ago.
Where was this? Was this here?
Yeah. No, I don't know if it was here or
Was
before.
it your place?
I don't remember where it was. I just remember the next day being I basically pulled an all-nighter because I didn't want to go to bed.
It's so funny. I have a very
It would
vague
have been
memory
better
of this
to
too,
go
but
to
I
bed.
have no
In other words,
idea.
Greg's right. It would have been
Yeah.
better to go to bed and get a full night's sleep.
Yeah, and just deal with it
And
in the
then
morning.
deal with it in the morning
And
and
I
then
think
be
I
miserable.
remember, if I remember correctly, there was part of it though where we were talking, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. I lost the last.
Oh yeah,
half
it
an
wasn't
hour
even
of what you
productive.
said.
If
Yeah.
you can't resolve it before you go to sleep, go to sleep.
Just go to bed.
Go to bed. Don't be idiots and try to
Right.
have a overtired debate when
Yeah.
you can't keep track of the conversation.
And then as far as I actually don't. I think people are continually changing, and I think good people are continually changing. That's what the process of getting better is. And I sort of gave them this speech about how the most unhappy people that I know say shit like, music is bad now, TV is bad now, because I think if you keep your mind open to discovery, you stay happier.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of being in a good marriage is you don't want to be married for 10 years and be like, we have to keep doing things the way that we do. Your life is going to change.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't think any of those are good advice.
Yeah.
I did say the one about don't compare yourself to other couples. I think that one's okay because most couples think they're the best couple already. So it's a waste of time. It's just don't waste your time comparing. And then I said to the crowd, raise your hand if you're the best couple here. And everybody was like, we are. So, so I did that. And then I had these 2 sections at the end. One was the speech I gave to Mark where I talked about meeting my sister's boyfriend, my future brother-in-law, and the father of my sister's husband at the same time. And then I turned to my sister and I started talking about when she was born. And then I just fucking lost it.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really hard to talk about, because she's 16 years younger than I am.
Oh wow,
She's 16 years younger than me. She's kind of this. I don't know if this sounds creepy, but she's almost like a daughter to me.
Yeah.
And then I talked about why they step on a glass. The glass that they stepped on was a wedding gift to my grandparents, but I bullshitted that part too. I said that there's 2 reasons we step on a glass, and one is that Jewish people hate glasses. And the other one is some boring shit, and I couldn't even read the whole webpage about it. So I just told them to let the glass symbolize any doubt or anything that could destroy your marriage. And as soon as you step on this, there's nothing left. There's nothing left that can destroy your marriage. And then that was it. And then
what
they
is
got
the
married.
glass actually supposed to represent?
It symbolizes a bunch of things to a bunch of people. It has something to do with...
Isn't it letting go or something?
It just depends on who you ask. Some people will tell you it has something to do with the destruction of the Second Temple.
Oh.
Some people will tell you it has to do with the fact that
so lost.
that man and woman were born from sort of the same animal. It's very convoluted, so you're almost better off just coming up with your own reason for it. But I did a very good job of not crying until that part.
Yeah.
And then I cried almost hysterically during the ceremony. And then I got my shit together. And then I married them. And then the rest of it was super easy. It was really, really cool. At the end, they did that. This is a thing now. When was the last time you went to a wedding?
Wait, what?
When was the last time you went to a wedding?
A couple of years.
It's about
This
a
is
year and
a
half
thing
ago.
now where the walkout has become a big
Ours,
thing.
yeah.
Where
Yeah,
they hold torches and sparklers
Right.
and stuff.
it's all over Pinterest.
And we were lined up before we did that, and somebody pulled out a joint. And we all started smoking a joint, and the people who owned the wedding venue bolted out and were like, "You cannot do that here."
Where were they? Did they see it or smell it?
Probably both. But then I looked, and I was standing 3 feet from Mark's parents, and I was like, Greg, you did it fucking perfectly until just then. Just then. But it was great. It was really great. And there was a reception at our house on Sunday that was funny because everybody from California showed up in shorts and flip-flops, and everybody from Chicago showed up in like white pants and a polo and like loafers. Every single person there was in pants, and I couldn't be bothered to put shoes on for the thing.
So California dress equals Chicago casual? Is that what we take away
I
from
guess
this?
so, yeah. A lot of like the Midwest is into colored pants. White and pink and green.
and blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preppy.
That's a thing. Yeah, a lot of colorful pants at the party.
I think
Al?
in areas where it's super cold, where it's super cold, when it's summertime, it's like, let's get into the summer fashions. So
Right.
it's colored pastels, lots of different, whereas out here it's just sort of all, shorts and
pink pants kind of blowing up in the Midwest, I guess.
Do you have colorful pants, Al?
I don't. That's one thing I never really joined. It was just t-shirt and jeans was my main
Smart.
thing. But
Okay.
if you're like an accountant at PricewaterhouseCoopers, that's like
Right,
your,
when you play hard on the weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Your salmon
we work
pants
hard,
are-
but we play hard.
So I want to tell Jenna and Al something, though, that at the wedding, we saw these family friends, Ken and Corey, who lived across the street from us when we were growing up, who are LDS, and I hadn't seen them in like 15 years. And I was really excited to see them. They were
of
the
course,
people that...
Ken and Corey. We know. I'm
Yeah,
just
I'm
kidding.
sure I know you guys all know each other.
You're in your ward.
They were the people that when I was walking down the aisle, I was like, oh my God, that's Ken and Corey and their daughter who I hadn't seen since she was a little kid. We talked for a long time. They're really close friends with my family. And I told them that I knew you, Jenna. And they were like, from Meet the Mormons? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, oh my God, she's incredible. She was so amazing in that movie. And then we went on YouTube and we watched a bunch of her doing comedy. I was like, yeah, I've been to her house. Yeah. And then I was like, I had funeral potatoes at her house, and they were like, you know what a funeral potato is? And I was like, please.
You were like, really? That was the best timing ever,
Oh, it
right?
was so
to run
great.
into them.
It was so funny because when I saw them, I was talking to them for like 10 minutes, and then in the back of my head, I was like, oh my God, I know Jenna Kim Jones. And I'm about to bring it up. It's just going to be a mind blower. And as soon as I brought it up, they were like, whoa. Like I could have said like, I slept at Shaquille O'Neal's house for like 3 days, and they would have just been like, who? but I knew Jenna Kim Jones, and they were psyched.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
great.
you're welcome for that one. You're welcome. Ooh, that's weird.
Oh
So
my
weird.
goodness. So speaking of the Mosses and the Kim
Yes.
Joneses, how are you feeling?
Oh man, you guys, I'm never gonna have a baby. It's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. She's a big baby. She's at least, according to the doctor. First of all, at this point, I feel like the doctors have sort of gone like, we don't know anything else to tell you, because it's like they can't tell you when you're gonna have your baby. They can't guess it. They can't really tell you exactly how big it is because the margin of error was like, what did she say? 20 ounces today. So
How many ounces are in a pound?
16.
Okay, right.
So it's
right. So,
So like
like,
give or take a pound and a half.
yeah.
Which is like a lot of a baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my baby is at least the lowest could possibly be, according to the doctor, is 7 pounds, which means that's she's going to be a big baby.
Right.
I think. So anyway, this morning we had an appointment because my due date is right here. It's upon us. And you go to the doctor every week now. And the doctor was like, well, we can do an internal exam if you want and see how your cervix is doing and maybe remove some membranes or something. And I was like,
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I know
no,
it's human
no,
body stuff.
it
but-
is.
No, it's
For me, it's
that's
jarring too.
horrifying sounding.
Yeah, exactly. And in my head, I'm like, I really should do this, but part of me doesn't really want to, but I should because I want to know if I've dilated at all or if anything's even happening.
Have you had a contraction?
I thought I had, but apparently maybe I'm just a wuss. And like, it was just like, I just had to go to the bathroom or something, So
there's
Huevos!
membranes.
it was
What a
like
gross
to
word.
separate.
Covering
Yeah.
the cervix.
Yes.
Okay.
And, or like in between the cervix,
Between
and,
cervix
the,
and
the sac
yeah,
or whatever
sac
the baby's in. So anyway,
So it's like that's a real internal exam. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
like
Tell
you-
me
you
about
would
it.
have-
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they refer to like the ripeness of your cervix, like how ready it is to.
They do not use the
Yes,
term
they
ripeness.
do. Yes,
Yeah,
they
that's the
do.
term.
Yes, they do. It is
It's
crazy.
like avocados, Greg.
Yes.
So she did the exam and it was not going very well and it was super painful. Way more painful than I thought it would be. I just thought it would be like when you go in and get
It's a
a
gynecologist.
Pap
yeah,
smear?
a pap smear.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, get in there and wipe out those membranes, right? I mean, it doesn't sound great, but so and it was not pleasant and I was like taking these like really deep breaths and she's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm fine because I'm just thinking like at any moment you're going to be done.
Right.
This really can't possibly
Was
take
she
this
using her
long.
hand to do
Yes.
this?
Right?
I didn't look.
I don't know.
I believe I was in the fetal position in the corner.
Al was having an out of body
Said,
experience.
yeah, just tap me out when you're done. You know? Just let me know.
It's so scary. So then, and she's kind of a small doctor, and Al said she was like on her tippy toes, like trying to really get a good look inside. It was weird. And she's super nice. But anyway, at one point, she finally just goes like, "Yeah, I'm going to stop now." And she stops and goes, "Well, we can't really...
You're 40 weeks
You're
tomorrow?
pretty locked up tight, so we'll see how it goes this next week. We'll see you next week." So, I mean, Alan did say at the end, like at the last
I
minute.
just said, like, yeah, but based on our research, it could really go at any minute. Like, you could still, like, within 24 hours, all of a sudden, the whole
Ripen.
situation changes and ripen,
Yeah.
as some may say.
Yeah.
You can put your
I need a
cervix in a
brown
brown
paper
paper
bag.
bag on the counter overnight.
Give it a squeeze of lemon.
And then
Yeah.
that's that.
So,
Did she? You said that to her, and did
Yeah,
she
and she
agree with
goes like,
that?
"Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
anything
so
can go."
I guess technically it could happen at any point, but it was a little disheartening for her to be like, "I'm just going to stop now," because it wasn't working,
she wasn't
whatever
getting
she was
anywhere.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was a little depressing, but it was okay. After that, we went straight to this restaurant in Studio City that is like notorious for their baby-inducing salad. And we bought their whole bottle of salad dressing. So I
What are
have
you
just
talking
been
about? I don't understand. Is this real?
This is a real thing.
There is a place called Coyote Pizza Cafe
Oh,
in
yeah.
Studio
Oh, yeah.
City.
That's on Tonga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess they sell like some sort of
They call it the
balsamic-
maternity salad.
And by the way,
Salad.
they
That's what
spell
that picture
coyote
was
weird.
today.
Coyote-
I thought that was just a weird joke.
No, that's real.
Coyote
Yeah.
used to be on Laurel Canyon, I think. It
Yeah.
used to be under the market there, and that was the first place I ever had what they now call California pizza. It
Yeah,
was
with chicken on it.
Yeah,
right?
well, no, this one was like
Barbecue
a
sauce?
Caesar salad pizza.
Yeah.
This is before
Oh.
California Pizza Cafe. Anyway, good.
Yeah,
Oh,
So,
Weird.
what's the dressing like?
So it's just like it's really strong balsamic. It's actually really delicious. I had a salad tonight, but now I'm
Yeah.
kind of thinking like maybe I should just like drink it.
Well-
Where did you read that this induces labor?
It's all over the internet,
It's a
and I've
very,
had
LA
friends who do
Weekly.
it.
LA
Very
Weekly.
reliable sources. They sell hundreds of bottles of it over the internet
Well,
every
of course
month.
they do.
Wow.
And they like swear by it, and there's women who say like, yeah, I had the salad. I went in and had their salad and had a baby a day later.
I was picturing you at the checkout saying, "Do you have a bendy straw? Because I'm going to drink this on the way home."
Honestly, I'm at that point where I'm like, well, maybe we'll just. I mean, because if you make a salad, it doesn't seem like it's enough. You know, like
That's not
'cause
a lot.
You don't want to overdress it because then it's just disgusting. But then I'm like, well, maybe I should just chug a shot glass full.
How much
of,
have you had now?
Not very much. Probably
shot
a couple.
glasses worth.
Not even. Yeah, I had like a couple teaspoons.
I wonder
maybe.
if a dude eats it if he just takes a 7-pound dump
That's
like
what he
immediately.
said.
That's why I didn't eat it.
He was scared to try it.
I'm not interested. I don't. Whatever's going to come out, I don't want to know.
Yeah, so we're gonna test out the salad dressing, and then there's been a lot of people like, go get a foot rub or go do all these tricks, go walking all the time, and I don't know.
But
I
all
don't know
these
if any
things,
of it's gonna
women
work.
who are do all these things, a good percentage of them are going to have their baby the next day.
Right.
That's what I was thinking too.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all silliness, but we went anyway. We were
Well,
like,
you got to do it.
Daniel, are you
I gotta do what I
suggesting
gotta
holes
do.
in the salad dressing theory? Come on.
I mean, I don't know if it's scientific. Is all I'm saying.
Jeff, do you have like a drama or tension, like a chase cue or something like that? Do you have anything like that? Okay, Alan. Jenna wakes you up at night and she says, "I'm having the baby. You must have the plan in your hand. Tell us what it is. Go."
oh yeah.
Oh, we're
This
just
is a
going
good one.
to throw stuff in your bag and jump in the car and go.
You don't have the bag already.
You don't have the bag ready. Have you driven the route to the hospital?
Oh, we've gone a couple times. I'm familiar. I've got a Kaiser badge, so I'll just walk in and act like I own the place.
What if it's like traffic like 4:30 p.m.?
We can get there without using the freeway.
Yeah. Yeah, we got lots of alternate roads.
You don't have a thing like this goes in the bag and this goes in the bag and this
Well,
goes...
no, we have some like baby clothes aside. I've tried to get Jenna to set some of her clothes aside, but she only has so much that she can wear. And so
That's the problem with packing early. It's like, you want me to put my maternity clothes in this bag and not wear them? All I have are 4 outfits.
Yes.
So it's like, what am I supposed to do?
But, have I charged the electronics? Absolutely. I always have we have a couple Kindles, and it's like a rotating Kindle charger.
He really has been charging them all week, and he's been downloading things to watch. I mean, like that side of the equation, he's ready.
So
Yeah.
Al's entertainment is taken care of.
Yeah. Al's ready for his own stay at the hospital.
To be fair, I did
got his
ask.
chair.
Yeah, and I did ask, do you want a playlist of music or anything like that? And she's like, no. So
I just feel like, am I really going to be in the mood to jam out?
Probably not.
BB King and Blue Eyed Soul. So watch out. That's all it's going to be.
Can I ask a very important question? So Kindle, really? Because I have a Kindle as well, but I just use the Kindle app on my phone or my iPad.
I did not.
These were gifts
Yeah.
from my dad. So we used
purchase them.
Yeah. We like them for watching Prime.
Or the Kindle Fires.
Yes, they're Kindle Fires. So you can download like Prime TV shows and they just stay. You don't need internet or anything. They just stay on the Kindle. So that's why we like it. Yeah.
If you're a Prime member too, for $8 a month or $10 a month, you can actually have unlimited of a certain type of book or whatever. They'll have 1 million.
My wife and I
copies open.
just had an argument about the Kindle this weekend.
How'd it
She
go?
wants me, wah, 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 and it's like, wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 and it's like, wah, 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 wah. Set it and forget it. One day I'm not going to show up, and I just want you to do that every time there's an opening in the conversation. She wants me to get a Kindle, but I don't want to get one.
As opposed to
Buying books.
Oh, okay.
'Cause I buy tons and tons
like
and tons of books. I'm like a voracious reader. And she was like, so I told her I don't want to do that because I like the way books smell.
Yeah.
And
get
she
that.
was like, go to the library and check out books because we're skint, as they say in the UK. And I was like, no, but I like to own the books. I like to be in a room in a house surrounded by books. And she was like, why do you care? And I was telling her that when I see all the books that I've read, I look at all of them and I remember that moment in my life when I read them. And I kind of feel like the books are can still talk to me a little bit.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
I like a ton of books too, but this one over here does
They're-
not like.
They're clutter.
He doesn't like books to be displayed.
No, I hate having to deal with books as a thing that you have in your house. I like to read. I like to have a book to read. I prefer that over a Kindle.
And then he likes to throw it
But
out.
then I want to get rid of it.
Really?
Oh, wow.
So
Well,
if you read
unless it's a reference book or something I need for
Like a
project
dictionary or
something,
whatever, you wouldn't
or
put in
just
the
something
garbage?
like if I'm writing something and I want some reference stuff around. But otherwise, unless they're like art books, if I've read the book, why I'm not going to read it again.
See, I wish
get
I
rid of
had
it.
every book I had read somewhere on a shelf.
Al?
Which I
But
might.
why? You're not going to reread them, probably.
I don't know. I think it's like what Greg's saying because I feel a connection.
Well, you're
to
wrong,
them.
both of you.
There's
We're both writers. I wonder
Yeah.
if that's it
I don't
as
know
well.
if that is, but I feel like I've kept, I would say, 90% of the books I've ever read in my life.
Part of it is moving a lot, and then when you move, I used to have a lot of books, and so you move and you have all these heavy boxes full of books, and then you get in there, and then you have to get the shelves, and you got to put them up, and they never look unless you have like a library or really good shelves. There's never a place to put them where it looks good.
What kind of relationship with books were you raised with? Or what were your parents' attitudes towards books?
I don't know the answer to that question, actually. My mom was an art history buff, so she had tons and tons of art history books. I don't have that many memories of seeing my dad read, actually. But my grandfather, who was probably a bigger influence in my life, was a very avid reader, and his living room in their house was like wall-to-wall books. Maybe that's where I got it from. But I just always felt like from the first moment I ever loved a book that I wanted to keep it in the same way that I feel about records or whatever.
Right. But your wife wants you to get a Kindle.
Yeah, and our house is like clogging with books. And I come home now with books, and she's like, "We don't have enough money for you to keep buying books." And I'm like,
Where do you buy them?
"At Barnes and Noble."
Okay.
I go to the bookstore. I like to look at the
quaint.
books.
I think there may be your compromise.
Which is what?
Buy used books. Because full price books are really expensive. But I mean, that's actually why I kind of don't like the Kindles as much, is because once I bought this book, I can't share it with anybody.
Yeah,
I can't trade with anybody.
Yeah, you couldn't say, "I love this book.
You should really read this.
it.
I'll
Let me
let
loan it
you-"
to you," which I do all the time.
Yeah. So I think if you went and got used books or found them, used online, I think that's a fair compromise.
And used bookstores are really fun too. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
they
find
are.
the weirdest stuff in there.
Love it.
They're really great.
Yeah.
No, there's one I do like hardback books.
Yeah, me
I think it's
too.
paperbacks that I hate because they always look like crap after you read them. It's got the creased spines and everything. But if I have a hardback book, I'll put that on a shelf. I don't. mind that.
I like all of them, but I feel the same way about used books that I feel about vintage guitars. Like, I like that idea that someone else has had them before.
Yeah.
So I don't have any
I
objection.
love it
to
when there's like notes, or I love it if things are underlined and things. I love that somebody else had thoughts of
Like
reading
a
it, and I get
used
to
textbook.
have. That's
Yeah.
actually one thing I like about Kindle is it'll show you things that other people have highlighted.
Yeah.
So that you get to see sort of what people are responding to in the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
But what I find difficult about Kindle is that it's hard to refer back to something, because oftentimes
That
if a
is
guest
tough.
on my Monday
Yeah.
show has written a book, I will end up, I want to read the book ahead of time, and I usually just download it, and then if I want to ask them a
You can't, like,
question
flip
based
right
on
to it.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I still prefer the physical book.
It's better.
$1 million idea I'm going to give away right now.
Oh shit.
Feel free. Whoever can get this to market first. A little strip that you put across the top of your iPad or Kindle, and it's a scratch and sniff. And when you scratch it, it's the smell of old books.
Ooh, you even sneeze a little. What about
It's like the opposite of new car smell.
like a virtual
book-
silverfish
Yeah.
that comes out of the Kindle and crawls around on the Kindle?
That is the downside
Or
to
it could
books.
be like a little digital silverfish that crawls around in the screen.
Oh yeah,
and then you got to
yeah.
squish it.
That's what
that
Ayala
was
said
fun.
to me. She was like, I was like, "I love being surrounded by books," and she was like, "They're just a house for silverfish. There's millions
true.
of silverfish in our house because of all your books.
If they weren't in the books, they'd be in your bed.
They eat your
You'd think
hair.
you'd think silverfish would be smarter.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't
All-
know
they're
they
in
eat
all
your
those
hair.
books.
they eat the wax that holds books together and your old skin and hair.
Oh,
And
gross.
don't they eat like dust?
I don't
though,
think.
and
I don't think
paper?
they eat.
No.
They eat paper. I
Yeah.
don't think they eat dust. I don't know.
Well, maybe that's the skin. The
Yeah,
dust.
maybe.
A lot
Skin
of
is dust.
a lot of dust is just
Yeah.
skin. This is really the cannibal's favorite episode.
It really is.
Jenna and Al, does your house have silverfish?
Not
No, not
really.
really.
That is
Yeah.
not true.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
No, just not
Definitely
really.
has.
It's not like we're infested.
Well,
with
I
it.
just haven't
Yeah.
seen them.
Why ask them if you know the answer already?
Did you
Because-
see one?
No, I did not see one,
Oh.
but you know your house has them.
Well, I am
Thousands.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I just don't see them.
Does
We're not
every
denying
house
the
have
presence.
Cockroaches?
Never seen one. We have
Really?
spiders. We do have
everyone has
spiders.
spiders. Everyone
Yeah.
has spiders.
Spiders eat the cockroaches. It's true.
Do you ever do this where you imagine if there was the ability to have a visualization of every bug or every rodent inside your house and like have the walls go away and you just see them glow?
Oh,
Ugh, I've
How-
never had that thought.
Like how many that would probably
It'd
be?
be
It would
millions.
It'd
freak
be
you out.
awful.
It would
It'd be
freak you
awful.
out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to think about, though, if there was like a heat-seeking missile type map in the house where all the delicious snacks would light up.
That's your brain.
Yeah.
You already have that.
I have that. Because Daniel and I talked about this a long time ago, because he can have some, like, there's cookies that I'm aware of every single day.
Oh yeah.
Cookies that you got from some restaurant that have been sitting in the cupboard for months now. There's so much
Oh,
stuff. Like,
right, the valet.
Daniel gets delicious stuff and then
I forget
completely
about
forgets about it. Whereas I can't. Yeah. I'm like,
By the way,
I'm
it's
very
always on your
keenly
mind.
aware.
See,
I know.
I'm like, I know where every snack. There's certain things that I won't eat forever. It drives him crazy because I'll buy lots of snacky things, and then I know exactly where they are and how many they are and what we have. But then I will avoid eating them forever until they go bad, and then I'm like, I probably should have eaten those.
Like, when are we going to eat these? Can we throw them away? I'm keeping them.
I'm like a hoarder for
Who wants
snacks.
year-and-a-half-old Kit Kat bars?
Yeah,
from
and then I
Japan?
throw them away.
Yeah.
But then it's
Or
a
an
bad
Instagram
habit.
picture. Okay, well, let's get in the picture.
Ayala does that thing where I'll bring home crackers, and she'll come into the office where I'm writing, and she'll be like, "Why did you buy those crackers?" And I'll go, "Because I'm gonna fucking eat those crackers." And she'll be like, "But I'm gonna eat those crackers." And I'll go, "Okay." And she'll be like, "Don't buy those crackers anymore." And I'll go, "Don't eat the crackers." And she goes, "You don't understand what's going on.
I
here.
understand what's
I
going
If
on.
you buy the crackers, I'll eat all
Yeah,
the crackers."
that's true.
And then Jenna and Allison Rosen, I bought. Do you know what Hava chips are?
Yes.
You know,
should not have
the
bought
You know what
those.
those are? Hava chips are a kind of, they're tortilla chips that are cooked in soy sauce. And they're from my hometown. They're
sounds
from Laguna
amazing.
Beach.
They're
Yeah.
really good.
And I love them. And so that's what we were arguing about. So the next time I bought them, I hid them. And then what happens?
she found them and ate them.
Yes, but she comes into the office and goes, "Why did you hide the chips?" And I go, "Because you told me if I brought the chips home, you would eat all the chips." And she goes, "Do you care if I eat all the chips?" And I was like, "I don't know the way to win this fucking argument. Do you want me to bring them home or not?"
Oh, this is
you want me to-
so real, though.
So
Yeah.
So if you bring them home, she gets to eat them and then be mad at you.
I've had
And if
to,
you hide them, she gets to eat them and then be mad at you.
I've had to figure out the things that Allison thinks are gross, and that's the world that I can live in. So
That's
it's
good.
anything mint. I can have mint ice cream in the house. Salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Um,
You can have all chips.
Oh, I can.
Oh, I
have all
chips
I
are
guess I
my
do. I started to put
weakness
things-
of all
We
weakness.
have a shelf that's out of her reach, and I was putting things up there, and then she discovered the
tongs.
barbecue tongs.
So then he had to hide the tongs.
So I hid the barbecue tongs up on the higher shelf.
There was a moment when you found your wife using the tongs to
Did I?
retrieve
I
chips.
think
No.
I think I found
you
the
were
tongs.
Like how? Yeah, you saw the tongs out and you put it together.
Yeah, I was like, why are the tongs out?
And then you realize, because you were like, how are you? Because I was very open about it. I'd be upset with myself that I ate chips. And you're like, how are you getting them? They're way up there.
And then I
Oh,
found the
that's so
tongs.
great. There
Yeah.
was one time I had half a bag of Sun Chips in the house, and I went on a trip to go do a show, and I came home, and the whole trip home, I thought, I'm going to go home and eat that bag of Sun Chips.
I know where this is going.
I earned these Sun Chips. I cannot wait. I got home. What?
You had been gone for multiple days. This isn't just I went to the comedy club and came home.
No, I
Multiple
had traveled.
days.
I was like on the airplane thinking about these chips, and I got home and they were all gone, and I was so depressed. Honestly,
Yeah. I was like, what are you? I'm a human man. What do you want me to do?
I know it was way too much of it.
Sorry, a human ate that food. You ate everything mint? You don't like mint chip ice cream?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Well, okay, now that I don't eat, that I'm trying to avoid carbs, it makes it easier to stay away from all stuff. There have been times that I've enjoyed mint chip ice cream, but in general, I don't find it tempting.
You
in the
don't
same
like
way.
mint in general.
Right.
You don't
so
like
in
mint
general,
toothpaste. You don't
Yeah.
like mint.
Right. So I'm less tempted by it.
Oh, mint. I love mint.
So great.
much.
Peppermint
Oh,
ice cream is like one of my favorite
It's
things.
so great.
mint, everything mint.
My mom, we used to make ice cream growing up. My mom would make this peppermint ice cream. It's like still one of my favorites.
In
So
that grinder
good.
thing with the salt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It has that cooked milk flavor,
Yeah,
you know.
people who
that
don't like it are
homemade.
weird. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
Al doesn't really like it either. He's on
Okay,
your
because
team.
he's giving me a look.
He
Yeah.
can't take it.
I know what you're going through, Allison.
It's hard for us
just-
in this world
Yeah,
of mint
I'm just staying
acceptance.
quiet.
I know.
Yeah.
But when we
It's
do
gross.
have mint ice cream, I usually am the only one that eats it, so it does
'Cause it's
work out.
nasty.
It does work out.
But I will say
Yeah.
this. I would like other flavors of ice cream too sometime.
Listen,
I like mint, but
look, you had
no, I
salted,
know, I can't have it. But I'm just saying, like,
other night
no,
you
I know,
had-
it's okay.
You had salted chocolate ice cream with no mint in it. Don't think I didn't notice.
It was so
I re-
gross, though.
No, I remember thinking
You don't
oh,
want it; it's disgusting.
It's not mint, huh? Well, look
By
at
the way,
that.
can I just say, like, salted things are good, but everybody needs to chill the fuck out on the salted stuff. salted caramel, it's good, but come on. Overdoing it is what I'm saying. Okay.
I've started to, when I eat chocolate, because I eat like a pretty good amount of chocolate every day, I sprinkle salt on it.
No, it's good. I just think like everywhere I go now,
I
sometimes
agree.
on dessert menus, it's the only option. It's just like salted chocolate or salted
It's a
caramel.
little much. It's a little much.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good,
too
but you know,
I agree. It's
it's a fad.
Okay, let's do. Oh man, let's do iTunes comment of the week.
Allison wants your iTunes comments. Allison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
ARI YNBF Lifeline to the Sticks by Wendy Martin. Every week I say TGIF, but not just because it's Friday, but because Friday is the day I get to listen to the Thursday Gang. You see, I live 40 minutes away from the nearest Target store. No Targets in Vermont. And the nearest Starbucks. Seriously, I actually cross a state line, Vermont to New Hampshire, to do this. But the long trip is worth it, not only for the $29.99 cost of giant bottle of Bombay Sapphire at the New Hampshire State Liquor Store. Greg, $26.99 when it's on sale. But because I can listen and laugh along with my imaginary friends, Limited Carbs, Allison, Daniel, tonight, Jenna, I love most fruits and especially the watermelon. Hashtag Al, soon to be the best dad in the world. Colonel Jeff, love your pod, by the way. And dare I say it, my almost favorite imaginary friend, Greg. I am old and I live in a tiny, population 650, town, but long ago I lived in New York City and worked in publishing. So I'm relating to your talks about real estate and quality of life. Stay in LA, people. Surround yourselves with friends and pets. I love both cats and dogs, mind you, and comedy and music, and you'll be set. Thanks to Allison and Jen Kirkman and the Gilmore Guys podcast, living in the middle of nowhere is not so bad. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for that super
Super
iTunes
nice
comment.
Hello
Loved
to the
that.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah. If you would like to leave us a comment, go to itunes.com/Allison Rosen. Leave us a nice comment, and maybe we'll read it on the show. And by we, I mean Al. Let's do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Sunlit Cactus says, look in the mirror to check myself out after an interaction is over, as though there is anything I could do at that point. Yes, I do that often.
Oh, yeah. But it's always sad when it's like disappointing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, darn.
I really should have looked ahead of time.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that's
exactly.
been in my tooth all this time.
Okay.
Like you'll talk to someone and then afterwards you'll go, I wonder how I looked during that conversation I just
Oh,
had.
yeah.
Totally.
Or I wonder how I looked in that picture I just took. And then you like dread the moment it's going to show up on Facebook or Instagram.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't overthink these
You have to
things,
rush
but-
home so you can untag yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And hide it.
Jill Katie says, just mirror everyone. When I see a guy wearing sunglasses on the back of his head, I automatically think douchebag. Yes.
Yes.
Real guy
Oh,
fanny stuff.
I usually think guy with a face on the back of his head. That's scary.
Or that.
How weird.
Yeah, that one's no good. Don't do that. Don't do that one.
How do we feel about baseball hat on the right way and then the sunglasses on the hat?
The same.
Not good about it.
Okay. Got it.
I think the back of the head's worse.
Yeah,
I do
back of the head's
too.
worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what might be in between the two? The folded hanging off the back of your collar. That's like the classy Guy Fieri move.
You know, one thing I got from my mom is when I don't have my sunglasses on, I put them on the top of my head, which I guess is not like a super guy-y thing to do or whatever, but I just hold them by, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what I do. Or
I don't think that's a female thing to do, is it?
I always thought it was very feminine. So
Yeah.
if I ever catch
Female-ish.
myself do it, I'm like, stop it.
No, I've had
What's wrong
people
with
tell me
you?
before that like that's a total chick thing to do.
Then
Yeah.
do you shake your hair out when you take them off?
I might have back in the
feel
day
like
when I
I've
had
done that,
some.
though.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you do that.
Well, that's because I have prescription sunglasses
Oh.
now. So,
But and also,
So you don't take
does
them
anybody
off?
else
well,
put
no,
their
if I don't have
sunglasses
them on, I
in
usually have my glasses
their
on.
pocket So, like, you put one leg of your sunglasses in your pocket and then the rest of it hanging out the side?
You know what I started
what I
doing
do.
is I started putting the arm of it through the loop in my button if I'm wearing a polo.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that way it doesn't, free.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I never wear sunglasses. Never, ever.
Really?
I
Oh,
used to.
man.
But I don't anymore because I find myself constantly taking them on and off,
Yeah.
especially if I'm talking to someone. I feel like they need to see my eyes or something, and I take
Plus,
them
you
off
don't go
and
outside
on.
all that often.
I guess that's really what it is.
I mean,
So I just don't think... Yeah, I don't know what it is.
my optometrist
I don't want
showed
the
me.
raccoon... Sorry,
Yeah.
I just cut you. I don't want the sunglasses tan either on my no tan.
That's no fun. My optometrist showed me pictures of the damage the sun does to your eyes, though. And that from then on, I was always wearing. You got to wear the UV protection. Like it really freaked me out.
What are they pictures of?
It just shows like how it damages the white of your eye around your cornea.
Tergiums.
It's really.
get those
Of course, they
yellow
always show you
spots
the
in your
horror
eyes, yeah.
pictures. Like, ugh.
Maybe I have tergiums.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No. My mom
dad
had a bunch of
does.
them. He does?
I think so. Like they're sort of just not white spots on the white of the eye.
It looks
right?
like a yellow little spot next to your eyeball.
Yeah, I think my dad has.
Oh,
That's from the sun.
man.
Yeah.
No,
those are
I
from the
just
sun.
assumed they were.
It's the
From
UV,
age.
the
I think,
UV
yeah.
rays.
I
That's
have.
why.
I'm sorry, Daniel. Go ahead.
Well, you don't buy the cheap sunglasses at 7-Eleven because what it does is it doesn't block the UV rays, but it dilates your pupils, so it actually does more damage to your eyes.
Tergium City. Yes, Greg?
I don't have anything to say. Is there anything else? I'm just kidding. I have sunglasses on constantly when I'm anywhere outside of the house. Constantly. I also kind of don't like people to look at my eyes that much.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Is that weird?
No.
Yeah. I don't like people. Thank you, Jeff.
No, but if I'm outside and I have my sunglasses on and I run into somebody or I'm talking to them, I might take my sunglasses off so that I don't, because I think it's rude.
It
to
is
have a
rude.
conversation
It is
with
rude.
somebody.
That is rude.
I always want to come off as sincere and engaged and honest and like on the level, and so that's why I don't want sunglasses on, because I feel like that is communicated through your eyes. But maybe other people don't care that much about. Maybe I care too much about coming off that way, because really, oftentimes I think like, who cares?
Right.
As I walk about the world, meeting people that I will not see again, who cares whether they think I'm smart or not smart, or competent or not competent, or this or that, And yet I'm like always trying to project a certain image. It's exhausting. You know what? Fuck it. I should be able to say whatever I want, and if I hurt someone's feelings, fuck them. Yep.
I'm also constantly looking at shit in a way that I don't want people to know that I am.
Boobs and butts.
No. No. I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes I do that. But like I'll like look at trees and stuff for a really long time.
You don't want people to see you looking at trees?
No, but it's just like I obsess really tiny details, and sometimes I kind of want to do that in privacy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
He doesn't want to freak out the trees. Get very shy. All the leaves fall off.
Harmony Barnard says, say excuse me to my cat when he is in my way, as if he's going to tip his hat and step out of the way with a bow.
All the fucking
all
time.
the time I say excuse me to Wendy. Daniel and I have this conversation all the time.
Yeah.
I say, I keep saying excuse me to her as if she understands, and then you'll say, I think she understands intention. And then I say, how does that work though? Like, how would she understand my intention is I would like you to move out of the way?
Well, if you move towards her, like she's in the way, she'll usually get out of the way.
I guess.
Depends on what kind of back leader you are.
Wait a second. I didn't know you did a Cesar Millan impression.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, he does.
Impressive. Mark Ring says, just mirror everyone, have an itch when I'm getting my hair cut, but too afraid to scratch it. That never even occurred to me.
No.
To be afraid to bring your fingers to your hair if you're having a haircut. It makes sense though.
Oh, yeah. Weird.
I have to do it nonchalantly because, like, when they're cutting my hair here, it's like it'll get on my face, and they try to like get it out of your face, and they miss it, and so it's itching, and you want to like brush it, but it's like you're not doing a bad job. You're not doing a bad job.
I'm not insulting you. Yeah.
It's hurting my eyes.
Al, do you go to a barber?
No, I go to Great Clips or Fantastic Sam's.
Do either of those places give you the shoulder massage afterwards?
They offer it, and I refuse. Every time.
They started offering.
You're worth
It's been a
it.
long time
Why?
since I went to one of those.
No.
Wait, why do you refuse?
I don't want it.
It makes him very uncomfortable.
I tip really well. If they don't talk to me, They cut it exactly how I want it, and they get me out the door.
No Talk Saloon.
Exactly.
The No Talk Saloon.
And Sport Clips, they have a machine that like punches you in the back, and that's like their like massage. And I'm like, I don't need you to run the machine over me. Just get me out. If you don't want to touch me, don't touch me.
I get the massage because I go to a barber shop to get my hair cut.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I always feel a little weird.
It's a
I
little
always
weird.
feel a little bit weird. And it doesn't have anything to do with if it's a dude or a woman. It's just like, how did this tradition begin?
The
I
best
didn't even know it existed.
Good point.
Like,
Yes.
Why is this here?
But how do you feel about like the warm shaving cream when they put the?
I don't care about any of that shit, but like, if the fishmonger was like, I'm going to massage your back, like, I would be
Here's your
like,
halibut, yeah.
why? Like, to me, there's nothing about like, well, I cut your hair, now you get a massage. Like, the two, A has nothing to do with B.
Can we talk about massages for a second?
Yeah, sure.
So like I need to get a massage because I get all these knots in my back from stress and everything. And really only someone with strong hands can work those knots out.
Like a dude.
Like, like someone of the dude persuasion. But there's this weird thing where it's like, but it feels like, am I sort of gay to be wanting a dude to be rubbing my back? But it's not like that. But then it's this whole thing because it's like, let's be honest, a massage is a kind of intimate thing.
Are you afraid you'll get wood?
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about it's like, it's not
It's just
how
a
I'll
hang-up,
react.
right.
It's like
Well, it's like Al
a
not wanting
socially
a guy to rub
acceptable
him.
thing.
Yes. It's just like that. I just don't. Yeah, I don't.
You know what
need
I'm
it.
saying? I'm not worried that it's going to like turn me on. I'm going to be
Is
like,
it
sweetheart,
because-
I got some news for you.
Is it because when you book a massage, do you feel like, oh, I better request a guy because most likely they're going to think, oh, this guy wants a massage. Let's give him a female?
Yeah, it's like, hey, I want the dude to rub my back.
Right.
But then they're like, and then it's weird
Wait,
that we
what's the
like, oh, we don't do those. I don't know.
Wait. Whoa. You're afraid that they'll think that you
I'm not really afraid. It's like, I don't know that it would stop me from doing it, but I'm just saying there's a weird social thing for
So
guys
it's le- so
that isn't there
okay.
for women. Like,
Right.
for guys, there just is this thing, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like a socially enforced. Like, it's not okay to have a dude rub
it
your
definitely
shoulders.
is there for women, because my wife, who is massaged semi-frequently, definitely prefers to have a woman massage her body.
Yeah,
For sure. And I think that has something to do with their nudity or whatever. But are you worried that...
but in a way, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing.
It's
but
the same thing.
Is your concern, Daniel, that he will think that you're gay?
No,
Or that you
no,
will think that
that's
you're
the
gay?
weird thing. It doesn't have anything to do with what I think or what he thinks. It's
Are you worried
just-
that like a
there was-
camera crew
No,
is
no,
going to walk in?
It's not. It's just a weird. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a weird. Like, is that okay? Like, it's not even. It's like a. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Does no one else know what I'm talking about?
I
Am
think I
really
know what you're.
alone here?
No. I think I know what you're talking about.
I know
But
what you're
I
talking
am
about.
very. I pro massages and I love them.
No,
and
I'll fucking get
yeah,
a
it's like,
dude to rub my back. 'cause
exactly. It's like
'cause it's also
anytime,
kinda
whatever.
hot. But it. No, because otherwise, I've had women rub my back and they have to like lean their whole body
Yeah.
into it with their elbow because listen, the ladies just aren't as strong. Let's be honest.
podcast boner.
One of my friends, one of my best friends, whose name I will not say here, was getting a massage once, and she heard the door open, and she looked over, and another dude at the massage parlor was beating off in the corner watching her get a massage.
That's awful.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
my
that's a true
gosh.
story. Yeah,
Then what happened?
she said that she felt too weird to say anything, and she finished the massage and paid and left the massage parlor.
Al,
I love
what
that
you
guy.
have done-
Uncomfortable.
What would Al have done if Al?
his-
So Al,
lost
you're
his mind.
So Al, you're getting a massage,
I'd be
Which
sneaking
would-
over,
and
getting
the
my
door
phone.
opens, and there's a dude in the other room.
He was in the same room.
Oh, in the same
He
room.
went into the room that she was in
Oh my gosh!
and launched the hand shuttle while she was getting
I
massaged.
think you
Now-
gotta press charges. I think you gotta call the police.
What was
I mean,
the
come on.
massage therapist doing at this point?
No, that was like, this was the deal, that his buddy wanted to watch this girl who was naked get massaged, so he like let his buddy in.
Oh, gross.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
have to.
Super
I'd have
gross.
to really.
Super, super,
That's
super
horrible.
I think you need to. I think you need to go to a place that charges more.
Gross. Yeah, it's true. I also worked with this comic in a writer's room for a while, and we went out to drinks one night, and in front of all the other writers and producers, he was like, Greg, how many hand jobs would you say you've got at massage parlors? And I was like, I'm going to say 0 because 0. How many have you had? No, actually, he said, would you say you've had more than 20? And I was like, no, man, I've had for sure 0. For sure my
Don't even
number
have
is
to
0.
think about
But it's
it.
just like, it sounds like your number might be more than 20. I will not say which comic that is, but
There's some dudes
unsettling.
I've known guys like who are really into those things.
I imagine it happening to me, and I imagine. Did you ever see the Curb Your Enthusiasm where the girl was giving him a happy ending? I just imagine her like looking at her phone with the other hand and just being like, "Oh, I guess I need the money." It just sounds so awful and loveless to me. I would never, ever, at this point in my life, I would never do that. But check back with me in 5 years.
Lane says, feel immediate anxiety and dread when I see new neighbors moving in. #apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the old neighbors screamed at each other. I have about 5 of the arguments on the phone if you ever want to listen to them.
Oh.
And the new neighbors have like a very intense, very animalistic kind of sex
Ugh.
that is
Do
not.
you have that on the phone?
I don't, but I've considered, but it's not natural. The old neighbors.
Can you?
The old
imitate?
neighbors who were known as "Make It Worse, Rob, Make It Worse, Make It Worse, Rob, Make It Worse." They were like year after year of just like living in hell. And also, he was a fucking Giants fan, and they won the series twice when he lived there. When they got divorced, I was like, God damn it, I'm glad they're getting divorced.
He made it worse.
Yeah, make it worse, Rob. Make it worse. Anyway, yeah, extreme anxiety when you. Also, the neighbors on the other side. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not even drunk and I'm talking so much.
It's okay.
They're addicted to cornhole. When you live next
Oh,
door to
yeah.
people who play
Yeah.
cornhole, it's just like. Hold on, I'm not done. Oh! Oh! Just every Saturday watching football. Just moved here from wherever, California dream, playing cornhole. Oh! And yeah, I have maybe the most extreme anxiety about new neighbors more than I do almost anything.
It's sort of recent that I realized cornhole was a game.
Yeah, I thought it was a thing that
Yeah.
was an activity. that-
Well, I think it is. It's just a weird name for a game, or a weird name for. It's like go one direction, cornhole.
And you set the game up, and then one dude who's at their party is like, cornhole, get something like a butt joke, and then just fucking click. Oh!
That's just us right now.
Okay. Rich Bryant says, when I need to cut a bagel in half, I think if I don't use a knife, it'll tear apart, and then I use my fingers, and it tears apart.
Wait, but your knife is going to be better than your fingers.
Yeah, he's saying he has that thought, and then he's right.
But he just goes
But
against it anyway.
Anyone else? Yeah.
No.
No,
Yeah,
'cause
not so much.
Knives are sharper than my fingers.
Several years ago, I cut my hand really badly surfing, and when I was in the emergency room on Sunday morning, they told me that they call Sunday morning the bagel rush hour because so many people are in the emergency room for slicing their hands open, cutting
Ugh.
bagels.
Ew.
Wow.
Gross.
Yeah, it's called the bagel cut.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, there's yeah.
bagel
Yuck.
cut.
What are they doing? Like cutting
Cutting
it
towards
towards them?
Yeah, they're
themselves.
cutting it towards themselves.
That's
Exactly.
So gross. My mom
me so
loves toast or bagels or anything like that. But she, growing up, she would. Well, she only ate. I can't believe it's not butter, but yeah,
So with her. Spray
she
or in the tub?
both. Yeah, but when she would eat carbs, bread or whatever, she would take the piece of toast or bagel or whatever it is, and then the entire container of I can't believe it's not butter,
And then dip it?
and then rip off a piece. Take the knife and spread the butter just on the one little piece and then eat it piece by piece like that because she loves the butter so much.
She had to dunk some trivia on that.
Oh, yeah, she should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get behind eating like that. I realize a lot of people can't. Michael Mart says, just mirror everyone. Sometimes worry about offering my subway seat to a young pregnant woman who, in fact, is not pregnant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be
I
careful.
can relate to that. Yeah. And lastly, Leanne Ward says, I don't get offended if someone tells me I look terrible when I'm sick or super tired. I just feel validation. I know what you mean.
That's B slamming, right?
No,
Oh shit! Fuck. I thought
it's
I had
okay.
one.
But but Leanne is also a super fan.
Okay, I know she is. She writes really nice things to me on Twitter.
Yes, she's super
cool.
nice. Yes, if I am sick and someone tells me I look sick, then I do feel validation. But I was walking out of the fertility clinic with Daniel. He went with me on Sunday, and this receptionist, who I really like, was like, "Feel better," and I was like, "But I, there's nothing wrong with me."
Get out of here.
That's weird. That
Feel
makes me-
pregnant. See you next time.
Yeah. You guys, if you're going to buy something on Amazon, perhaps a bagel slicer, click through the banner on my website, AlisonRosen.com. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps out the show. Thank you for your Amazon support. Thank you for PayPal support. PayPal links on the right side of the website. We have T-shirts on the website. Go to the website, click on the T-shirt. Takes you to the site where you can buy them. We have ringtones available.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
And also...
Touch the tushy, touch the tushy, touch.
And you can get these by searching "Hey Go Fuck Yourself" or "Touch the Tushy" from your iPhone in the iTunes store. Also, if you're not an iTunes person, they're available on Gumroad. GUMROAD.com/AlisonRosen, Gumroad.com/AlisonRosen. Other stuff available there too. Go there, check it out. We have special bonus episodes available, comedy album section of the iTunes store. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe. iTunes.com/AlisonRosen. Follow me on Twitter at Allison Rosen. Follow the show's Twitter feed at ARIYMBF. Email us, ARIYMBFshow@gmail.com. Jeff, where should we go for you?
You can find me at Colonel Jeff Fox on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And my podcast is Barracuda Radio, where finer podcasts are found.
Daniel.
At Daniel Quantz, QUANTZ.
Alan.
At Alan Moss on Twitter and Instagram.
Jenna.
You guys know you need some more Al in your life, so check out our podcast, Sorry Not Sorry, with Jenna Kim Jones. Al chat. On iTunes or on my website, jennakimjones.com/podcast.
And Greg.
At Dong Attack.
And you guys, best of luck to Jenna and Al and this baby.
Have a baby.
Very exciting.
We're trying really hard.
Very exciting. One of these days, although actually we're doing a little pre-recording, so I'm realizing that
You may have it by the
Yeah. Just check Twitter. Okay. Thank you for listening. You guys, thank you for being on the show. I love you all. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen is your new best friend.